I want to acknowledge their suffering and to say how much our hearts go out to them and their families.
Prince Charles is acknowledging how much the Indigenous people of Canada have suffered over the years. From the 19th century to the 1970s, Indigenous children were forced to relocate to Christian residential schools by the Anglican Church, which Charles's mother, Queen Elizabeth, is the head of. The schools attempted to convert the Indigenous individuals to Christianity, while erasing their traditions and culture. On Thursday, the royal addressed the issue and sympathized with the Indigenous community during the final speech from his 3-day tour of Canada.
It has been deeply moving to have met survivors of residential schools who, with such courage, have shared their experiences. On behalf of my wife and myself, I want to acknowledge their suffering and to say how much our hearts go out to them and their families. All leaders have shared with me the importance of advancing reconciliation in Canada. We must listen to the truth of the lived experiences of Indigenous peoples, and we should work to understand better their pain and suffering. We all have a responsibility to listen, understand, and act in ways that foster relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples in Canada.
The 73-year-old's comments come after Senior Chief representing Canada's First Nations Indigenous communities, Roseanne Archibald, urged him to ask the Queen to apologize as the head of the Church of England, according to ITV News. Prince Charles and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, arrived in Canada on Tuesday and wrapped their royal tour on Thursday. During their trip, the pair visited Ottawa and Yellowknife. The royal tour of the country is part of Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee celebration, which commemorates the monarch's historic 70 years on the British throne. Prince Charles is currently first in line for the throne after Queen Elizabeth. Next in line is Prince William. In April, female editor for the Daily Mail, Charlie Langston, talked to Access Hollywood about the Queen's health ahead of her big birthday and Platinum Jubilee.
We understand that the Queen has recovered from COVID. It did obviously take a little bit of a toll for a few days. She herself described it as exhausting and terrible. And I think that anyone who has had COVID understands that it really can knock you off your feet. Whether or not you are vaccinated, whether or not you are kind of in the prime of your health, it does really take a toll. And I think the Queen, as a soon-to-be 96-year-old woman, is still feeling a little bit of the after effects of it. Now, I don't think that this is in any way serious. I don't think that anyone should be raising the alarm anytime soon. But she is a woman who is in the later years of her life. And I think that any kind of illness, whether it's a cold, the flu, COVID, does tend to have a lot more of an impact when you're at that age. She has taken a step back from her duties. She is trying to get more rest time in. Her advisors are working really well to make sure that she's not overdoing it. And I think that we can expect to see her missing out on a lot of the events that we might once have been used to seeing her attend. The focus for everyone right now is on the Platinum Jubilee celebrations in June. All of the people at Buckingham Palace who are responsible for looking after the Queen and helping the Queen really do have their sights set on that event and making sure that the Queen is fit and healthy enough to get through it in a matter of weeks.